Hello, hello, hello. I'm Zachary Jarid.
How is everyone? Are you
We're
awake?
good? Let's hear it.
Come on.
I love it. So we're super excited today to share with you Evolving Textures. And Evolving Textures is our collection where we want to showcase how creative colors and creative color placements should be placed on different textures of hair. We have to share that love on all textures, right? But with that, I want to kind of focus on choosing the right finish by picking the right segment of our Goldwell portfolio. If I need more depth and opacity, I have to choose a really opaque portion of our Goldwell portfolio. If I need something illuminating with high shine, I need to pick something like Illumine, right? So denser hair textures, I need to open up and get that light within it internally. And finer hair textures, I need to create that saturation.
I'm Ethan King, guys. I'm really excited to be here to share this this collection with you. I have such a big passion for textured hair, and just getting to look at these models from up here, it's like really amazing. I hope you guys are enjoying what we've done. So I was really lucky to work on these two beautiful models and give you some different techniques for looser texture, tighter textures, so that you can see what color placement really does to bring out those curls and make them pop. So I'm going to bring Sicily over here.
So for Tommy's hair texture, we're dealing with a very strong shape and a finer to medium textured hair. So I really wanted you visually, and I'm going to spin Tommy around, I wanted you visually to be attracted to all of her hair, from the nape line all the way up. What I did is I grabbed a really saturated Illumine Play at black and worked that in from the nape all the way up through her undercut. Then when I got to the top part of her hair, I took a mohawk sectioning and started tipping out her ends, but having clear at my base, moving into my sky blue formula, and then very softly hitting it with at black Illumine Play. And I'm going to show you guys today a great way to create some good clean line work in your blondes. And her blonde, look at it reflecting off of the screen right now. It's so beautiful, and I was able to create that with the brightener from the Light Dimensions campaign. If you're not using brightener natural with 1 drop of cool pink in your double processes to preserve that brightness and that reflection, I don't know what you're doing, right? So I want to showcase with you here in the back, what we're going to do is we're going to take a little piece and I'm going to start to merge my colors through here as I did during prep. Now, one thing that I want you guys to be mindful of is to keep this blonde crisp and clean. We need to make sure that we're putting something on it to protect it during the rinsing process. Now taking, I'll have you look up for me, Tommy, taking a little bit of Illumine Clear to help protect that is what I'm going to use to kind of create a barrier. It also adds as a third form of creating something that helps me merge in a tone that has a lot of saturation. So I'll go through and start applying my Illumine Clear to both sides of my subsection. And one thing that I really like about using the Illumine Clear product on my blondes after the pre-lightening is it's such a conditioning color line to really help build up some moisture around the hair after a pre-lightening process. I'm going to place my thermal foil down here. Now, one thing that was kind of an aha during prep for me was how was I going to create a solid line but not make it too harsh where it kind of is catching your eye. You know, you want to be looking at the whole canvas. So what I did is taking this sky blue color, working this in, pulling it down, working from the clear down in, and then when I get my black on there, and I love these small little Goldwell brushes when I'm dealing with fine detail work, I'm going to come through and place in this line. Now, I've created a horizontal line, but what I'm going to do, my next tool is my finger. And when I go through, I'm going to kind of blur that line a little bit, up and down and back and forth. And as I go back and forth, I'm going to carry it up higher. So I start my Illumine Black lower and then move it up with my finger, right? Because what that does is starts to merge in with my sky blue and creates it. And I'm going up and down first and then side to side. And that's how I was able to create this beautiful transition between my clear into my sky blue into my black. What do you think? Okay.
Love it. So guys, if you look over here for a second, I wanted to show you Sicily. So my whole image for her, what I wanted to create, is this basically just phoenix rising, like bad bee. You know, like she's coming out in her motorcycle gear. You want to not mess with her. So one thing about doing curly hair coloring and creative color placements, I always talk about the color mullet. I don't know if any of you know what I'm referring to when I say that, but if in the salon you create a color mullet on your client, they might be a little disappointed when they leave because of the disconnect. So one thing with a 3D shape versus a 2D shape that Zach is working on with Tommy, because straight hair all kind of falls directly right on top of each other, right? So texture hair is always going to be expanding and pushing. So the shapes are going to become larger and expand off of each other, which then sometimes can give you disconnects in the layering when it comes to color. So with Sicily, I actually wanted to create a color mullet. So we did a really cool, just like deep black color block underneath, almost like the Miley Cyrus that we've been seeing. So really on trend with the color blocking, obviously, and being very technical about where you want to place it to give a lot of that depth for these fun little phoenix pieces to pop on top of. So if you take a look for the color placement, what I'm doing, we did a little bit of a root stretch and using 4BP with some pearl blue just to give it that extra depth on her base. And then we pull into about 2 to 3 inches of a persimmon color, which is basically like a red-orange. So I wanted to create that flaming red-orange into the yellow-orange. And then I'm going to tip out her ends with the Illumin Black. So the thing about color placement, again, on curls is that if you don't place enough of it, you might lose it. I'm sure that there's somebody in here who has done that because I know I did when I first started coloring hair. And it's very disappointing when you take the time to do all that work and you don't see any of it, right? So you want to go bolder or go home. It's not going to work. So even though on Zach, he might have just been doing a tip out towards the end and feathering it up, I'm going to do a little bit more chunky. And of course, depending on the tightness of the texture, is always going to give you how much you need to add. So if the texture is tighter, you need to go even further into it to create more of that depth pop at the end, okay? So I like to do it a little bit different than Zach. I kind of place each of my tones, and then I go in, and I know he's a little smudger like me. And I go in, and I just kind of merge each one to give a nice soft blend so that there's no harsh lines. The one good thing about textured hair and creative color placement is that harsh lines fade into the overall look a lot nicer. So on a 2D placement like his, he has to be a lot more precision and careful about feathering each section. The good thing is that her curls kind of do some of that diffusion for you because they jump up and down all over. So as I go up, I'm going to finish this section here. And what I want you to see is that I'm not going to do every section about the same size. I'm going to kind of give variations. And with textured hair, I really don't like to overthink it. I just do it and kind of just know that every section is going to be a little different because that creates a beautiful variation in the overall look.
And what did the thing? Yeah, let's hear it for Ethan. I love the clapping over there. I love it. So one of the things that was like a big aha moment that we kept talking about is we kept talking about density. We're talking a lot about texture, but also density. And we're dealing with Sicily's hair over there, and she has this gorgeous curl, but it's very dense even up at the base. So when we were picking our colors for Sicily versus Tommy, we were making sure that we're thinking about the saturation and how light flows through the hair. Now, I always talk about we're working on a moving canvas that's going throughout life. So they're getting different light hitting them at all times, sunlight, incandescent light, sometimes stage light. And with that, we need to think about how that light's going to flow through, and that's how we pick our products. One thing that I want to kind of shout out here, because I've been loved working with it, is the new Goldwell style sign. Now, if you guys haven't been over to the Goldwell booth to experience this everyday blow dry spray for fine and medium's hair gave me that kind of security to really work with this product and work with my Illumin Play to make sure that I can have that color hold on and the integrity of her hair. With heat styling, it uses the marine bamboo that gives you environmental protection, UV protection, and heat styling protection. On this last top part, as you can see, I've been over-directing everything back so my solid line stays there with my reflection and with working from my sky blue into my saturated black. I love working with these thermal foils because I can see through the color, and sometimes I even extend when I'm working with dark colors out to even off the hair so I get a good marker of where I want to carry that solid line. So I'll kind of bring this through sky blue again for you. Through here. And the sky blue is so beautiful. When it gets mixed after I kind of merge those colors with the black, it gives me almost a denim color. That's why I chose a lighter color to start out with. Then going in with my black. And then again with my finger, up and down first. And then back and forth. And you almost see that product with the Illumin Play blur out and soften that line. Easy enough, right? Great. So one thing that I want to kind of point out, though, is if I'm dealing with somebody who has a coarser texture and I really want to kind of still work with these solid lines, taking this straightening balm, and this straightening balm gives you a little bit more moisture to it and helps to pull out that texture so you can create these linear lines in these shapes. Thank you, Tommy. I'll have you turn around for me.
I mean, Tommy just, I kind of want to be Tommy secretly. I already told her this.
We all do. We all want to be Tommy. Me and Tommy switched outfits, actually. I was going to wear this, and she's wearing that, but I decided not to steal the thunder.
So one thing I just wanted to touch on real quick, guys. I don't know if you noticed the amount of lift that I got. I think in creative color placement, we always think, let's lift to the lightest that we need to get the brightest results, right? When it comes to curls, I always think about the integrity of the curl. That's one of the biggest things that all of my clients are always asking me. Well, is it going to ruin my curl pattern? Is it going to stress my curls out? Am I still going to have curly hair? So the good thing about what we chose to use on her was the Silk Lift. And honestly, this is like my baby, Silk Lift Strong. I use it on everybody with 6%. And we lifted her to a yellow-orange because what did I want to get? I wanted a yellowy-orange result. So I didn't really need it to get into that high level 9 anything because she also had some box color that we won't talk about much more than that, that was in her hair at her ends. So we kind of just figured, you know, we're going to get the lift that we're getting, and I'm going to work with it. Don't push things too far because your client is going to be less happy if they get stressed out curls versus something fun and funky that they still can play with their curly hair, right? So the styling products, you know, Zach was talking about what we got to play with the new style sign. I am a gel fanatic, and I was lucky enough to get to play with the new Bundles gel. So this gel is beautiful and has a beautiful consistency. I'm all about, does anybody here in the audience work with curly hair? By a show of hands. Yes, yes. So I love applying product and getting slip. If that product does not slip through and my fingers are getting stuck, it's like the worst. It's almost like nails on chalkboard to me. So if I'm not getting that slip that I need, I automatically just throw that product out, and I'm like, well, that was fun. This product has beautiful slip. It's a very nice consistency. And the great thing about it with the bamboo technology, it gives a really great strong hold, so you're not going to worry about the results that you're getting. It's going to last, but it also has that bouncy effect. So it's going to give the bounce and the fullness and the longevity that you're wanting to get with your curls. So you can see on both of our curly models, that's what I used, and it gave me beautiful results with that.
what I did to kind of create that soft blend is some pieces underneath after I put that saturated black, I've only carried that sky blue through. And I just on a couple pieces right at the rounds of the head. And what that does is helps to break it up. So I am ensured that there's no harsh solid lines. We want a straight line in it. We want a nice gradation, but we do not want any solid lines. So after I've applied a couple, I'll just carry my sky blue all the way through, and that creates a little bit of inconsistency with that transition point, and it helps bring it all together. Ethan, I want to talk about Sally Jill now.
Yeah, me too. So we're going to jump over here to Sally Jill in the middle. So Sally Jill was fun. She has a little bit tighter texture than what Sicily had, so we got to be a little bit more playful with her styling and give her a little bit more oomph and volume. So I'm going to come over here with Zach. Who doesn't love a nice little like high pony moment, right? We love a good snatch pony. So I'm going to just take this out and show you guys all of her beautiful curls. So what we decided to do with her, I gave her a fresh little cut just to round up her shape. But I wanted you guys to see this before I did anything crazy with it. So this is literally just her set completely dry. It's beautiful, right? So you might have a client that comes in and wants this. I am super extra when it comes to curly hair, and I like big, sexy volume. So I'm going to take her, and I'm going to flip her head over for me real quick. Now, you cannot do anything of this sort unless the hair is 100% dry. If it is not 100% dry, I don't care what product you use, it will get frizzy. So the key is drying it 100%, then you can create all this extra volume. Now, Sally Jill likes volume, and so do I, so we're going to go at it.
And I think what I want you guys to pay attention to is as he introduces more of a light source in her dense, gorgeous texture, we're able to expand and showcase that color more. Now, we talked about depth and having opacity, so at the base here, we use Top Chic to really get that opacity. We did 3 NA at the base, and then from there, what we did is we took on pre-lightened sections, we silverized with 8 CA at PB to create a smoky cast that would work with kind of this violet tone we were looking for. But once we've silverized, we have to then reformulate to see what we're left with. We were left with a very smoky but kind of dark brunette tone. So instead of going with a VV at all in Illumin to create more luminosity within her texture, we went with just PK at all, because we had to think about what we were putting it on. We weren't putting it on blonde anymore. We were putting it on 8CA PP. So we didn't lose that contrast between the root and the ends. We really wanted to make sure that we were keeping that. And Illumin was our go-to for denser textures because it has a brilliant shine and light reflection that can kind of show through on coarser textures.
Is anyone getting anxiety the more that I do this? You're like, stop, it's gonna be frizzy. I promise you. So the thing about frizz is sexy to me. I love frizz, but frizz with definition, right? You don't want a shattered curl pattern that's just gonna escape the little friends around it. You need those bundles to stay together, but soften. So I don't know if we remember what Sally Jill looked like before, but I'm gonna have her raise up.
Let's hear it for Sally Jill, y'all. Ethan, what kind of products are you finishing off her look with?
So I used the new serum from Style Sign. Again, I don't know what it is. I have to have it the right consistency. If it's too heavy, I don't want it. I don't want to put heavy products in my curly hair because I don't want to weigh those beautiful curls down. So I want them to have that airy, flowy texture, but get that high lacquer shine that's still wanting to pop out in there. So I usually just finish it with a light oil serum. So I love the new Style Sign serum. And then usually I'll take a nice hairspray and zhush her up. Thank you, Zach.
You got it. The one thing that I want to say about the relaunch of Style Sign is it has good holding products, as Style Sign has had for a long time, but also there's a lot of flexibility and workability, especially when you're dealing with curl patterns, that it gives you comfort and confidence to do all of these aggressive, once it's completely dry, aggressive moves, and you know that it's going to hold on to the style. Wow. This is the outfit Ethan was going to wear today.
Yeah, she decided to wear it. They were very strict on what I could wear. Some of my clients, when I'm doing this, they're like, are you done yet? I'm like, nope. Bigger, bigger. What do you guys think? Gorgeous, right?
Okay. Well, thank you so much. Let's have you stand up for us, Sally Jo. Thank you guys so much. We hope you enjoyed Evolving Textures.
Thank you.
Oh, yeah?